first song that's played. First song. Cause we gonna obviously. I like how we came in and announced the show, then we went to a song. I like that. Huh?
Yeah.
Want to start off with that? Cause you know we're gonna damn near talk about that for a long time later.
Yeah, but we should still start out. Like we gonna discuss about that song we just played later on in the show. But thought we'd start it off with.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. If you wanna do that, then I wanna play Queen Slim.
Alright, bet.
The first song. What's the first song?
Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about the first Tory song.
Friends Become Strangers?
Nah.
Money Over Violence? Money Over Violence?
Yeah, I think so. Isn't that the one?
You can play that one. I thought you were gonna play it.
Queen Jump. Which one you wanna play?
Money Over Violence.
Yeah, let's play that song first. Let me know when
Is
you're
the
ready.
mic good in the place where it's at?
So you,
Come on.
yeah, you good.
Alright, cool.
Yes, sir. It's the man right here. Coming down smooth. Everywhere good. Everywhere go. Let them boys know. Yeah, for the South.
All right.
It's good to do something.
5,
I feel like that.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's going down, everybody? It's your main man, Saint Lamore, kicking it.
Hey, and it's your girl Amanda.
Hi.
How are y'all today on this lovely Sunday afternoon?
I hope y'all feeling good. We feeling good.
Yes, we are. Did y'all have a good week?
No, definitely. When we reach out to y'all, don't ever think that we don't want y'all to respond to it. So we'll most definitely. This is the Mouth of the South. If you didn't know.
Now you know.
We come on the radio every Sunday from 1 to 3 in that time frame, just to start giving you that real perspective from one of us, someone who looks just like you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing that we want to do here at the Mouth of the South. We are going to definitely get into a lot of topics today, everything from RBG to some what's going on with sports, as well as some things that are going on in entertainment. So, I mean, I don't want to give too much away. We're going to get into it later, but we're going to start off with a song, as we so often do. And once we come back from that song break, we're going to really get into the mix. So y'all keep it locked right here on the Mouth of the South.
Backtracking with what she said originally, maybe that's why they don't have a report. Some bitch is trying to take over Tory, and it's more to the story. Bitch, it ain't nothing to the story.
Don did a date for Friday, August 21st, goes to Daystar Peterson.
So they got pulled over, and she having shot already. He's looking at the police and then shot her.
We gotta talk about Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion.
Cass is looking for you, dog.
Because the police came out and said, we didn't even know she was shot.
Hey, the best thing for Tory Lanez is, for real, he needs to just be gone.
Once I come through with that, I added your stuff too. As well, I put it in there. I think that's how it's
Hey, they ready to see me in the cell. Like how he posted out with $30,000 bill. I'm the go try niggas
I feel. They really got you thinking Tory Lanez will do you in for real. Don't forget you was my bitch, I held it down and kept it real. I would never paint no fake picture of you just for some meals. And I thought that you was solid too, but look at how you doing me. Look at how you doing me. People trying to ruin me. And what's even worse is I'm still thinking about you and me. How you going live my birthday with all your jewelry to try to make some fool of me. But I love you hard, so I'm gonna cool it be. Cause I was coolin' right with Cuban beat, that wasn't stupid me. Somehow I'm still down to renegotiate the unity. My heart is a foolery, this shit is just confusing me. I'm going through these phases, but I gotta stack that paper. And the real estate niggas hating, took me off that application. But when they took that from me, they really took that from my baby. What the fuck I'm finna say to his old lady? What the fuck y'all mean? My son don't need a house, my baby mama don't need safety. And even though I got the payment, the real estate niggas still hating cause he watching me all on the news. But I ain't charged with no cases. He say the owner say my case is looking crazy. How the fuck that even makes sense? Blue times turn to past tense. All I want is straight cash. Niggas say I lack sense. Star player, hearing lies coming from the back bench. Killer be killed, that's the reason I don't have friends. Niggas lying on the cookie. Niggas saying I'm deported. Oh, now I'm 5'3". Niggas saying I'm a shorty. My little bitch, I'm 5'7". Money on me, sidestepping. And if I stand on my wallet, you can see my thighs in heaven. One umbrella gang, and when we come back, don't you try rapping. Before I let these niggas breathe, I gotta teach a couple lessons. Gotta see a couple questions. How the fuck you get shot in your foot, don't hit no bones and tennis? How the fuck your team is trying to pay me at some whole minutes? I just lost like $10 million because it's cold business. But I got like 10 million followers that's gonna roll with me. Fans that support me cause they know my heart. So I don't give a damn, shawty no jigger. I was taught to beat the block. Any, meeny, money in these streets, so I need a cop. Niggas, y'all can play me, y'all can frame me, but I'ma reach the top. I would never put you in no danger, and if I did, you would've said it when you seen the cops. Hey, let me get these bands and they coming at the floor. Hey, hit the fan when I'm pulling out the door. I would never fall out with niggas over hoes. Hey, money over fall, that's my nigga, that's the code. Sensory bands when I pull up to the coast. Let I have my bands when I pull up to the door. Niggas can't believe I done put up in the ghost. And I don't ever wanna fuck with y'all no more, G. I got bad bitches tryna have an orgy. Keep umbrellas for the days it can storm me. I pour the Henny for my niggas that's before me. My outfit fly, you gotta see it, I buy the floor seats. She tatted me all on her face cause she adore me. They talking petty about me, but they looking corny. I had to fight for my nigga, you was sworn in. And God bless me when I wake up every morning.
Going back in.
Hey, we're back up. It's Amanda O. So we're gonna get right in and talk about first topic of the day, politics. And then that being said, can't start off top politics without talking about RBG. So I'm gonna bring it over
I
to
do
Sig
wanna-
more.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We want to first and foremost say rest in peace to RBG.
Rest in peace to her soul.
She did pass away not too long ago, and the reason for or what really makes her death, I feel, so important is the seat that was left vacant here on the Supreme Court board. She was always someone who fought for civil liberties and women's rights. She always, stood for
The rights of all people. All
Really?
minorities.
Oh, really did, and she was an advocate for that. And so the loss of her, the loss of her, I really feel like it did leave way for someone to replace her presence with someone who may not think that way. Obviously, everybody was looking at the fact that the last time this happened, Obama was in office, and everyone knows they didn't allow him to replace that justice. They said, we're going to go ahead and wait that out until the next term.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're talking about allowing Trump to replace that justice. So, I mean, I just want to talk about that for a second, because just like the fact that they may actually allow this man to replace him.
Honestly, if
But
Trump
she didn't
really,
let Obama do it.
if Trump goes ahead and picks a conservative candidate, to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat on the Supreme Court, it'll ideologically change up the makeup of the Supreme Court for years. That's really significant because now that'll be his third person he's appointing third conservative member he'll have appointed in his presidency. We can't let that happen, especially what they want to do, focusing on how they want to do away with Obamacare and how that's going to affect millions of Americans with pre-existing health conditions, because they're targeting doing away with that specific law. That's like pretty much the most significant part of it all. Like, we can't let that happen. And he's already appointed somebody, though. Apparently, I heard he appointed a judge by the name of Amy Coney Barrett, favorite candidate of the conservatives.
Mrs. Amy Coney Barrett, ladies and gentlemen. And I do want to just take a moment on her because it does appear that Trump has nominated her to replace Ginsburg. Now, I do note that this woman was not a judge before Trump appointed her. She never had been a judge. One thing, she was a law professor, we all know, but Trump appointed her to the 7th Circuit of U.S. Court of Appeals previous to this.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So it does appear that he has, been grooming someone, clearly, because when he appointed Brett Kavanaugh in 2018, she was already on his list of candidates at that time.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's a good thing for Trump, though, right? Because, I can see how it's a good thing for him, because the death of RBG kind of distracts his voter base from how badly he handled COVID-19 this past summer. We can't forget that. And also, it gives him time to remind his own, conservative base of like all the good things he's done in his presidency and who he's appointed for them. And by appointing this third conservative person to the Supreme Court, I think they'll be really happy about that. So there's some good things, but I think majority, personally, it's a huge downfall for people like me. And
well, tell me,
because what they're planning to do, what this means, having a third conservative person on the Supreme Court. It's just going to make it so they can actually go forward with what they want to do in taking away that law that's going to give coverage, that gives coverage to millions of Americans with pre-existing health conditions. There's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
A lot of people like me and you. I do think that, the only good thing about Donald Trump, and I will say this, is that he has raised the political consciousness of the young people. I do see a lot more young people paying attention to news and what's going on in the world since Trump has become president. So let us use that consciousness now to do something about what's going on. We
All
are
facts.
now, I do see more people, it looks like felonies are even starting to be expunged. Mike Tyson is getting the vote for the first time this year. Snoop is getting the vote for the first time this year.
So many people are about to vote for the first time.
And so we're seeing all of these people now step up and advocate for voting. So I'm glad. I do see us now starting to see how we can really take action.
And be involved.
Not just president. Advocating for who the judge appointee should be. I know that we don't have hands in all of that yet, but we do at the same time. So I think that we just need to have more conversations about that. Amy Barrett, I'm not gonna, I don't know a lot about her.
Me neither, I don't know too much about her.
But, we gotta pay attention to the fact that this is someone that Trump has been clearly grooming for the last few years. And now
He's trying to push her through as fast as possible before the election.
Because she owes him after that. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, I only look at it like that because I've watched House of Cards. I don't know if any of you guys have watched House of Cards, but definitely check that out because it really gives you a background perspective on how
That's a
the
great
politics
show.
go down. No, real talk.
Salem Moore actually put me onto that show.
You look at
Thank you.
how people in power put other people in power, and why do they do it? You know what I'm saying? It ain't just because they like you. You know what I'm saying? They know that one day I'm going to need you. And I got you. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to start paying attention to these things. It's all good. That's just one, facet of what's going on. Because on the other side of the things, we still have what's going down with Breonna Taylor. And the status of know, that case. We all know that, what was it,
This past week, they finally got into bringing some charges. I mean, the
Some
charges were
charges.
actually a slap in the face, I would say. But
Brett Hankinson.
yeah,
Brett Hankinson charged with wanton endangerment.
that charge really feels like they just pulled it out of thin air.
A
But
range of 1 to 5 years with a $15,000 bond. Killing this woman. Now, I mean, wanton endangerment. I mean, I think that when someone throws out a term like that, a piece of legislation like that, we all have to ask, what is wanton endangerment?
I
and
actually have the definition. You have the definition?
Yeah, I got a little definition in there. Well, you can read the definition. I'm going to talk about how they look at that law in the state of Kentucky. But go ahead, give me that definition.
According to USA, a person is guilty of wanton endangerment in first degree when, under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to the value of human life, he wantonly engages in conduct which creates a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury to another person. State's law says.
State's law. In the state of Kentucky, a person is guilty of wanton endangerment in the first degree when under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference. So I just had to reiterate. Nah, but I definitely, I mean, looking at how that is a Class D felony, looking at it as how it puts him in a different position, I do feel like it's not yet enough justice being served here. We still looking at the other officers involved.
Wait, was that justice?
I mean,
Whoa, that
you know,
was not justice.
I'm glad that she reacted that way because some people are gonna look at this like a bit of justice, but we need to not let up.
I don't even know what kind of justice that was.
Talk to me.
What I actually heard him saying was that, personally, the only charges that we can find these officers guilty of is endangering the three persons that were in the apartment adjacent to the woman who was shot up 8 times while sleeping in her bed. That is what I heard. I don't know about anybody else. So when I say there's no justice, I don't see how finding him guilty on 3 counts of wanton endangerment to those 3 people that were not killed is justice to Breonna Taylor. Let's not forget what justice is and what justice isn't, because this is not justice at all. This is them trying to cover their asses. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I do. I
Mhm.
mean, you know, $15,000 bond, so you know the boy ain't spend no time in jail.
I don't know, it's
1 to
nothing.
5 years maximum.
But for each count, so it's 15 actually. So, and they say they only serve about 85% of their sentences. So I would say like he could serve a max 11.
It doesn't equate to me. I had to look. I mean, we all know what endangerment is. You know, when you leave someone susceptible to danger, pretty straightforward. But I had to look into this word wanton and what that word really meant. And when I did look it up, it looks like the first definition of it is as an adjective is deliberate and unprovoked. So it does say in parentheses of a cruel or violent action. So this is already looking like a negative term in the first place. Now, I looked even deeper and I had to look at the root of it. So we look at wan, right, in Old English, which is equated to badly, and then the ton comes from tegen, which means trained. So we're looking at wanton as being another iteration of being badly trained. So either you're trying to blame his actions on how he's being trained, or you're saying that it was racially motivated. You know what I'm saying? Or are you, I mean, can you say both? Can you say, let me think about that. Racially motivated, someone taking a racially motivated action, and being badly trained. Yeah, it could be both. It could be both. But either way, like you say even maximum 11 years. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. If you think that, 1 to 5 years,
I
or
mean, bottom line, it wasn't justice. So, like, what happened this week was absolutely them trying to cover themselves up and, you know, give us something that we will be okay with, and we're not okay. I'm glad and I'm thankful that people rose up and were protesting again in the streets and, you know, doing what we do best, letting our voices be heard. This generation is tired. We're fed up. We're not going to allow, you know, this to keep happening. So thank you, everyone out there.
Even with the $12 million settlement for the family, not enough. We need to still let it be known, because it's just looking like, it really just looks, it shows the inhumanity, you know. It's bad enough how our black men are being treated in this country, but when we see it so blatantly happening to our black women and the response to it, I think it's just sending the wrong message. I mean,
restitution is not justice. Okay? Restitution is not justice.
Restitution is not justice. And we're going to take a brizeg on that one, because I think we, you know, it's a lot going on right now. Clearly, we want to make sure that we are staying in tune and staying involved and knowing really what we can do to support. I mean, the social media advocacy is great, and we need that. Don't think that if that's all you're doing, that it's not enough, because someone needs to get the word out for what's going on and exposing some of these issues so that we can get to the solution right here on the Mouth of the South.
Yeah, let's not feed into, like, putting other people down and how they choose to, you know, advocate for the justice, you know. Just everyone do your own part, okay? And let's all work together.
One time for your mind, and I'm gonna let B go ahead and drop a record for y'all one time so we can get it together. And when we get back on it, we're gonna holler at y'all about some other things that are going on in the world right here on the Mouth of the South. Oh, before we go to break, I want to also let y'all know that you can call in and chop it up with us. We want you to.
Please
chop
do.
it up with us.
We want to have a conversation with everybody out there who's listening.
The Mouth of the South is about
we love
putting
y'all.
the
We want
community
to
on.
exactly. We want to
hear from
engage with y'all,
because that's the only way we can get the people the truth. When they hearing it coming from the grassroots, the people that are galvanizing on the front lines and putting things together, that's how you know you get into the roots. So make sure y'all call in. That number is 804-905-8333.
And of those who want
to give me that number one more time.
804-905-8333.
I think you had something to say.
Oh, I was like honestly gonna say it. And those who have been trying to who've been reaching out to be guests on the show, we're working on that. So, you know, just stay tuned, okay?
Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Go ahead, B, take us out one time.
This Richmond, Virginia, this RVA hip hop. This how we sell.
I'm from the era of the lollipop. Used to ride the box and Adidas. Got more balls than Mardi Gras. Big breasted women jumping titties, popping out them bras. Haha, I made you look like Nas. I ain't no rookie with this rap shit. Little boy with a kingpin, hooking up that crack spit for the flow they fiend. So I'm hustling the flow now, so I can get the cash with the adjective, the verb, and the pronoun.
Yo, that's word to my nigga Boz Knight. My nigga Big Style, my nigga Noah O, man. I been doing this shit, I been had these bars, and niggas can't fuck with it, nigga. And you gonna learn why they say it's Tony Red.
Hey, stop playing with me. It ain't no stopping me. I don't play by my money unless it's Monopoly. I spin the wheel on this revolver, take the treasury. And if you question my fortune, you'll be in jeopardy. Look, same number on my gun and my shoe size. My crew got the same guns that's on True Lies. I get to dissing these new guys, cause like Martin on Life, the shit I spit is hot as them 2 pies. Ayy.
I feel you, Tone. You know who it is, charge of Noah O. Boz Knight, I appreciate you for letting me come along, homie. Style, what up?
Yo, independent brick by brick, building gain leverage. Track for track, check my catalog, the same message. Flaws is absent, flow immaculate. Body rap without the tummy tuck, close the casket. Goofy gas, they juice stats, but they souls is absent. Overdrive the finish line, but never blow a gasket. We aiming for infrastructure, lead the game restored. We open doors, excellence, repping the 804. Noah,
Ripping that 804.
Red.
It's what them haters be hating for.
Bars.
What the fans still been waiting for.
Style.
Say no more.
30 seconds.
Yeah, they got me on a level Fred Hampton and Huey on. These rappers sound like they won first place in Goofy Con. Murder every track they threw me on. I told them I was the best. Still waiting for somebody to prove me wrong. You never buzz cause your bars light. See, I'm the type to step in the all black party dressed in all white. Bars so tight, they be begging me to say the same bars twice. Cause even bars nice, say my bars nice, right?
Alright, coming back. Run another record for me.
Alright, y'all, we're coming back. Coming back with y'all. Love out. I'm gonna hold it down for saying more. He's out.
Yeah,
I
bars nice.
Do you
Bully
wanna
boy.
come back off of one of the
We the
records
faction,
on the album?
Bull Bap Chemist.
So after this record, we're gonna play a song from the
Yeah.
Story album. Yeah.
I never
I just
fail
wanna
to
get my
impress
little bit,
when
you know.
I express. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now rocking with the best words. The alphabet alchemist, the lyrical nemesis, this limitless paints through some images of your demise and scrimmages. Destroy competitors with Mortal Kombat finishes. The style is wild and lames can't get the gist. I'm in your mental like subliminal messages. I'm an original, my shit don't sound like his above average. I'm savage, I'm ravaging cabbages, averaging all the averages. The madness is the industry feed off the dead like scavengers. Yeah, stop hating and debating, enjoy the music. Everybody got their own flavor, let them choose it. If you're mused with my gifted gab vocab, I know it's extraordinary style of poetry, legendary. Cause to me, MC means move the crowd. I gotta be nice with these verses, no mistakes allowed. Cause to me, MC means move the crowd. I gotta be nice with these verses, no mistakes allowed. Cause to me, MC means move the crowd. I gotta be nice with these verses, no mistakes allowed. No mistakes allowed, no mistakes allowed. I gotta be nice with these verses, no mistakes allowed. It's the words of wisdom, the words of understanding, the ones that come in the moment, the ones I never planned them, the ones that come in random. I'm a lyrical phenomenon. Yeah, for those who didn't know another Sean, it was Sean Carter, Sean Price, and that was Sean Sharp, but everybody else call me Bars Nice. I spit flows like lighter fluid. What you mean? He was talking shit, Negro. I had to do it. Who did you expect me to sound like? Lil Yachty or some other little rapper in the game I just spotted? Get your mind right, get your bars tight, then come back and we can politic, yeah, aight. Until then, kick rocks and take a hike. You sound like a bunch of sissies. On the mic, it's time to raise the bar, take it to another height. I feel sorry for you, mumbling rappers plight. To me, MC means move the crowd. You gotta be nice with these verses, no mistakes allowed. Cause to me, MC means move the crowd. You gotta be nice with these verses, no mistakes allowed. Cause to me, MC means move the crowd. I gotta be nice with these verses, no mistakes allowed. No mistakes allowed, no mistakes allowed. I gotta be nice with these verses, no mistakes allowed.
Actually, I didn't want to do that shit. I gotta play this song anyway. That's my plan.
Alright, so we're gonna like start off by saying like, you know, on Thursday, rapper came out, you know, first time ever talking. We're waiting to hear everything that George wanted to say, right?
I know you ready to get into it. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna save all my tape time for that.
I think it's still off right now. I'm gonna keep it right where it's at. I ain't gonna move it at all.
Tripping, I envisioned something different from the situation. You was my bitch, not only
Yeah,
that, you
started,
was my
right?
nigga. Got me
Yeah.
throwing all these niggas
Yeah, I ain't
saving.
gonna start it.
You started taking me too serious, and that's when all this escalated.
Probably like the last 15 seconds of the
You
song.
yourself don't even know the full story. Why you letting people escalate it? And I know you got them people in your ear, but we both know the situation.
That way, you ain't gotta keep getting up.
Fuck all that for now, we'll talk about it when it's time. It feel like my little baby been confiscated, taken away from me. I was making a way for us. We was tripping up them couples, trying to do it how they do it. We was up and she was up and I was up. We PJ fluid, it was fluid. Had this moving like it's water to the fluid. I'm your water, you the cruise. couple things won't ever change. The common propaganda around my name is never strange. But when does it get strange? When you start lying to your best friend about us doing things and hoping she ain't entertained. Or is it strange when the loving come with secrets in the game? And when the world unveil the curtains and all they laughing at your pain. But does it change when we both reveal that both our mothers died and we still dealing with some pain and need someone to entertain? Or does it change when you break down in my arms and start crying and feeling like you alone and I tell you everything's okay and I know I ain't running game. Even Munchie know my aims. Will you ever know my name and not just sorry from this fame? Will we ever talk about this? Will we ever console the game? Or will we keep on acting like I put you in danger and some pain? And when you hop back in the car with me, you knew everything was safe. Just please don't let these niggas make you change. We both know what happened that night and what I did, but it ain't what they saying. But when the feelings change, the pain start oozing from the heart and start cruising through the vein. Start leaking out your mouth when you hop on the live and talk live. It's oozing through your brain. Listen, we watched the animes, so granted for my plan phase. The potentials of being B&J, just watching for my fan base. I'm just trying to get back to the days when you would hop back on a jet, land in Miami for a span of days and stay with me. Back when I would do the same and land a plane from A to Z and pull up in your driveway in the AMG. When forward run up out the door and you would come outside looking gracefully, and I step out the car and see your two arms embracing me. We both playing games with money, powers, and fames, but just tell me how it changed. Have your feelings rearranged, or deep down are they the same? Cause I just wanna reconcile with you, spend a while with you, send some flowers, watch a smile hit you. After Kellen do your hair, you send a wild picture, then you calling me to come step out with you. Type of shit I like to do, type of ways I like to move, all directions in my view, still pointing right to you. Damn.
Hit the red button. Red button on that mug. Reset. What's going down? One time for your mind. This is the Mouth of the South, and we bringing it right back. What you just heard was another track from Tory Lanez album Daystar. We all know that that's been the latest topic of discussion, and so we want to go ahead and address the elephant in the room, if you will.
We're just gonna get right into it. Honestly, haven't we been waiting so long just to hear from him since the incident of Meg coming out saying she was shot by him? We remember Meg came out when she finally talked. She was came out on her Instagram live a couple weeks ago, and she was just like, she basically came out saying, she was like, tell him you shot me, you know? Tell him who shot me and why, and stop lying. She said stop lying and telling everyone that it wasn't you. That's what Meg came out saying. So we've been waiting since then to hear from Tory Lanez. Everyone has. I know I have. Because, like, if you didn't do it, wouldn't you just come out and just, like, say I didn't do it? I mean, that's what we're... So that's pretty much why it was crazy when he finally came out this weekend. On Thursday, he came out and he was just, like, on Twitter and on his Instagram, he was just like, I got time to talk today. There's a time to be silent and there's a time to speak. And I said I could say on all platforms in about 5 minutes at 9 p.m. Eastern time. He came out and said that. So everyone was waiting. I know I was waiting. And he dropped an album. The album called Daystar.
How do you feel about that?
The album, to me, I was one of those people who were like, he's canceled. He is canceled. To be honest, as a black woman, I could never be in support of Megan and still be in support of Tory Lanez. You know, he doesn't feel apologetic in any type of way. And even after listening to the album, I still feel like he's not apologetic. I mean, on Care For You, he did say, he went and said, like, you know, I'm sorry from, like, you know, my past. He was like, oh, there's actually something he actually said specifically. Let me not misquote it.
Go ahead. And while you figuring that out, I did get a chance to listen to a couple of the records on the album. I did check his perspective, but I was looking at it really more of on a broad level. I'm gonna let you get back to that, but just to kind of chime in, I feel like on a major scale, he was trying to apologize, but at the same time justify.
But it was a wrong time to be doing that. It was a wrong time to be doing that, especially this week. You know, we got the news of Breonna Taylor not receiving any justice, and social media being so enraged and mad, and in support of black women in the struggle of how literally we're not cared for, we're not protected. And this case with a domestic violence case against, Tory Lanez in regards to this shooting of Meg Thee Stallion and him being silent. He felt like it was a perfect time to release a statement. Well, it wasn't even a statement, it was an album. So in retrospect, he was actually promoting, using this time to promote his album, He was trying to make profit off of a black woman's pain, and that's not okay. And that's why it gave me a distaste, even going into finding out what he had to say was actually dropping an album. I was expecting an apology. But get back to what I wanted to show you in what he said for Care For You. He was like, there's traumas in my past that might make me talk loud and lash at you. Sorry for the times my attitude mixed with the status too. Like, that's not an apology. I feel like Tory actually hasn't learned from what he did, or he hasn't accepted what he did. I don't know. I mean, then again, I don't know the full story, but there's really not much I really need to know.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. I feel like he hasn't.
Meg clearly said on her live, "You shot me," and tell them you shot me. She said that. So.
Meg from the South, man. You know what I'm saying? I think people gonna ride. I think that she wouldn't have said something like that so definitively if she was lying.
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta look at people in their face when they talking to you. But I think that Tory's decision to just put an album out talking about it, of course they're gonna say that was great marketing. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, any businessman would say that.
How'd you feel when you listened to it?
But the issue with that is I feel like there comes a time when every man or woman has to make a decision to choose morality or choose business. Unfortunately, like you say, this is a black woman's pain. This is a very sensitive topic, especially at this time. So
he's choosing to capitalize and profit off of black women's pain.
And the decision to do
That's
that
disgusting.
Is what makes me think that maybe he has not learned or even is aware of what has happened.
Would you still support him as a black man?
I got a question though, like,
what?
Oh yeah,
was it really that wrong of him to do that? Because in so many other cases that happens, vice versa.
I mean, it was okay. To say it was a great time or not, I would still say it was a very wrong time. I mean, he could have waited at least maybe even like 2 weeks later after this whole Breonna Taylor. He did it the same exact day, Thursday. That was a weird, like, it felt divisive to me, Like it wasn't like, like some type of colluding was going on. Like that didn't feel genuine. Like I understand he said he dropped the album because it was like also the anniversary of his mom's birthday. I didn't really get the data from his mom's birthday.
I'm just looking at it more on the aspect of, alright, so not the same situation didn't happen, but it's similar in how everything unfolded, like what happened with R. Kelly. And he's still taking a whole lot of shade for everything that happened, whether people knew, didn't know, played dumb, but people used him to profit off of him, off of that whole situation, all the way around the board. People he paid off, families he paid off, down to the TV scenario. So it's like when you sit here and say, you so wrong for doing that, but when it's on the other hand, like, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I definitely felt the same way for the R. Kelly, the way the R. Kelly case went and how it was dealt. I felt the same way. Like, he definitely should have been canceled. I listened to the album just because I wanted to. I was just like everybody else, trying to figure out what you had to say, and it wasn't. And after listening to the album, I was very disappointed. I mean, the album quality, taking away from the whole controversy about the shooting, the quality of the album was okay. It was good, but it was only good because it kind of felt like he was biting the sounds of a couple other rappers, but I'm not gonna get into that. It sounded a little Drake-ish to me.
It sounds like Drake. But that's all aside from the point, because like you said,
but then again, they're from the same area though. They're from the same area, Toronto.
Right.
Exactly the same area. So I can't say they're biting because rappers around from the same area.
I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say maybe that's just a Toronto thing.
Yeah, because that's what it came out sounding like.
That sounded like The Weeknd. So I was like, maybe this is just a Toronto thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let them have that part of it. But this is the thing. As an artist, as a businessman, yes, you express yourself through your art. That's what you do. The only reason this situation is different is because of how personal it was. You know what I'm saying?
But he also doesn't think he did it.
Well, that's another thing.
And
Because
Money Over Fallout,
listening to the album,
and
it
Money-
sounds like listening to the album, it does sound like he's saying he didn't do it.
I mean, in
Right.
Money Over Fallout, he specifically says.
The question becomes, who did it then? And are you saying you didn't do it, or are you just coming at everybody that just assumes you did it? I mean,
Let me
I
let you
feel
guys.
like
Let me guys.
I feel like he should have been more specific.
No, that's what he says. Listen,
if
in
you're gonna
one.
come out, come out.
Okay, in Money Over Fallout, he also says, how the fuck you get shot in your foot, don't hit no bones or tendons, how the fuck your team is trying to pay me in some whole millions, I just lost like 10 million because this cold business, but I got like 10 million followers that's gonna roll with me, fans that support me because they know my heart. So he's basically saying
Well,
he didn't do it. He's
but
like,
I
how
can't-
he's basically denying, how did you get shot but didn't hit no bones or tendons? That means he really thinks he did not shoot her.
All right, I don't think that's what he's saying at all. I feel like, and I'm gonna
That's
say
what it
this.
sounds like.
No, because she did a photo shoot like 3 days after with a whole lot of thank you cards and all of that. A whole photo shoot, mind you.
I
know
don't.
what I'm
I know
saying?
that. I also heard that was done like weeks before the incident.
No, they didn't show her feet at all in any of those pictures.
Okay. So she definitely
they-
probably had it casted then.
And they were saying like sincere cards, like get well soon.
Yes.
Like this definitely happened right after. So I feel like he was speaking on that situation. You know, you saying you shot and you so hurt and this, that, and the third, but you were here doing a photo shoot, showing cards.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know. Just
Here's
felt,
the
it
thing.
felt very disingenuous to me.
The only thing that justifies
saying.
something like that to me is the fact that you are still a persona. Look, business don't stop. So anybody that's continuing to work, although they going through something, you know what I'm saying, it's reasonable why people do that. But I do feel like it's something that's, you know, waiting to happen. I definitely feel like Meg's next album, well, Meg's first album is probably
I mean,
going to
Meg's
go
been doing
platinum
well.
because
Meg's
of this.
been
You
doing
know what
well.
I'm saying?
I'm glad
Everybody
for
gonna
her.
be tuned in.
But Meg's been doing well. She's been
Right, we
doing well
love
since
Meg.
that. You know, she dropped
Everybody
the whole
love
WAP.
Meg.
You know, that track came out. She's been that's number one right now.
Yeah, we
so
love Meg.
exactly.
But
and now she's about to. You know,
Tory positioned himself in such a way where it's just like, dude, you were already, you know, everyone was already looking at you crazy, but now people looking at you like, oh,
yeah, like you painted a picture for me now.
yeah, that you really are crazy. That you really are crazy. I mean, I only listen to your album specifically
industry,
to
man. The
you know like, confirm or deny. Are you really this insensitive? And he clearly showed us his face. So, thank you, Tori, for that album. It was subpar. Thank you. That's from my perspective.
Look, Tori, you cool, man. Just do your thing, man. Do your own thing, man. Just add some flavor, you know what I'm saying? And if you're
Actually,
gonna come
no,
out,
I
come
mean-
out, man. Like you say.
Yeah, if you're gonna come up with the story, tell us the story. Like,
You know,
don't come out with some tracks. Give us a
I was
statement. I
was
want a
expecting
statement.
for him to like go into the
Exactly.
It's all
you know the whole
You know,
thing.
I'm tired of seeing. This is why I know some women why they say nowadays it's feeling like men are doing hoish type things, you know,
Oh, Lord.
and getting away with it though, because it's funny how men are not even saying anything about this topic. About how Tory K. Some men are even saying, "Yo, the album was kind of fire, though." You know, I understand about everything he did with Meg, but let's not deny the music was still good, though. You know, I've heard that. I've heard that also, that other side of it. And I want to ask you, Saint Lamore, how do you feel about this as a man? Do you feel like men really come out and speak? You know, even with the Breonna Taylor case, with what we found out, you know, this week. Do men really come out and speak up for what black women like? Because that's the whole thing right now that's going on in social media and how I feel too. I mean, personally, I feel the same exact way with the whole wave. I feel that black men actually do not support us the way, you know, black women support them and come out and speak up on their platforms.
I mean, I do see our brothers starting to speak up, and I will say that there was a time where it wasn't, you know, as often. There was a certain level of misogyny in the black community, definitely, and so we, as men, have overlooked some things ourselves. But in this time,
But men still support Tory Lanez. How?
those men are young, most of them, and a lot of them are. I mean, because you got to understand, we're living in a world where 6ix9ine's lifestyle has been justified, even though everybody know he a snitch.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, when it comes to something like this,
He snitched on himself.
and that's but he
He's a
still
different,
got
he's a
fans,
different
though.
kind
He
of
still
snitch.
has
He's a different
fans.
kind of snitch. We're gonna give him a whole different type of name. Like,
And that's the crazy
you can't
thing.
even
For
call
someone
him
like that
snitch,
to still
man.
have fans and follow what you're doing lets us know right there
The
that
type of
there's
culture we're
people
living
in the
in.
world that will justify anything. Well, you wasn't there.